Hey friends, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to do a video that a lot of you have been asking for quite a while, and it's going to be a Barracks showcase. So basically I'm just going to walk you guys through all of my plus 10 units and any other units who are not plus 10 but who I have given premium fodder to and who I enjoy using. So yeah, we're just going to go through everybody, and I'll also show you all the accessories that I have on them. And yeah, hopefully it'll be a lot of fun, because I do show off some of my builds on a more regular basis than others, so I'm sure there are some that you guys haven't really had the opportunity to see. And if you want to think of this as like a 3K sub special, you can. I feel like I've been wanting to do this video for a while anyway, and the 3K subs was just kind of like the catalyst for it, so if you want to call it that, you can. So let's just jump right into the units. So first off, we have got my plus 10 Summer Innis, who was actually my first plus 10 5-star exclusive. And the story of this unit is that in first year, or I don't remember, was it second year? The year where his banner came out, I pulled one Summer Innis really early on that banner. He was minus attack. So I decided to keep pulling, because I was like, oh, I want to get rid of the minus attack IV. And I just kind of kept going on that banner, and eventually I left off that banner with, I think, a plus 3 or a plus 4 Summer Innis. And then I was like, you know what? Let's save up and let's eventually plus 10 this unit. So the year after that, I think I pulled another 3 or 4 copies, and then finally I finished him off last year with the free manual that we got from the ephemera codes and the last 2 copies that I had to pull. I did not take the forma for Innis because back then the rain skills didn't even exist, so there were not a lot of great flyer skills that I would have been able to give him. But anyway, so this is what he looks like right now. He's got Springy Axe Defense Refine, which helps with Wyvern Flight. And his A slot is Swift Sparrow 3. He's also got Attack Defense Solo 4 and Sturdy Impact, but I kind of like Swift Sparrow on him. Depending on the situation, I might switch it around. And he's got Wyvern Flight because I pulled way too many melodies, so I'm not 100% sure how the stat check works, because I know the speed check is before combat, but I don't know about the attack, about the defense check, how that is if it's in combat or outside of combat stats. But anyway, I think it's pretty good on him. He actually has both high speed and high defense, so I think it's a really great skill for him. And attack speed oath in the C skill because I foddered off a legendary Celica to him, so that's how he got Swift Sparrow and attack speed oath as well. And the seal is speed defense too. I mean, I'd probably switch it around normally, but because I was trying to give everybody a seal for this showcase in advance, you'll see some people have less than optimal seals on them. So anyway, yeah, this is my Summer Innis. Super proud of him, super happy with where he's come over the years, and yeah, I still haven't found a great way to use him in Ether Raids yet, but maybe someday. We'll see. Next up, we have got this Forma Celica, who would actually be plus 4 right now if I hadn't foddered one off for chill speed back in like the second year of the game. She pity broke me several times, so I did have a bunch of copies of her, and I didn't know what to do with her because she wasn't that good before. So yeah, I unfortunately did fodder one off for chill speed. Oh, let's take a look at her accessory too. She's got the flower band. I think it's cute on her. And I did end up taking the Forma because I was like, well, I already have a plus 2 Celica, I might as well get some premium skills on her too. So we've got the Rally Up skill, Ruptured Sky, Distant Counter, Spurn, and Joint Drive Attack. Now I was gunning for Null Follow-Up and unfortunately just never got it, but, you know, I haven't fully decided how to use this unit yet, so still pretty good, I think. Alright, next we've got Ayra, who has got the handmade hair clip accessory. She is someone who also pity broke me many times in the early days of the game, and I happened to pull a 4-star special of her, and after her refine, it is very worth investing into her in my opinion. So I gave her the refine. She's also got Regnal Astra, obviously. She's got attack speed, push 4, and no follow-up, and Times Pulse. So with Times Pulse and with the slaying in her weapon, she's always going to have Regnal Astra, which is amazing. And I went with more of an offensive-oriented build rather than like a DC build for her, just because I thought it would be cool to have basically like a player-face nuke that can pretty much take out anything with the right support. Even Brave Hectors, yeah, with the right support. And normally she'd probably be running like attack speed solo seal or something, but that's already on someone else right now, so I just gave her Steady Blow for the sake of this showcase. Maybe someday I'll figure out how to incorporate her on an ARD team. Next up we've got this Roy. His accessory is the bandana, and Roy is a unit who I have kind of like not the greatest relationship with. Unfortunately, like, he hasn't aged super well compared to some of the more recent red swords, but, you know, I mean, I still have him. He's got Nullsea Disrupt, so I still do use him sometimes in light season. And yeah, not much more to say about him. He's a decent unit. Maybe if I got the Resplendent, he'd be even better, but, yeah. It's been a long time since I have used him on a regular basis. Next up is Swordhart, who I just actually happened to pull a merge for on the 4-star special rate the other day. He's got the Noble hat, which is actually matching with his sister Olwen, so yeah. But anyway, let's talk about him first. So he's a unit who, I obviously love Reinhardt, you guys know that. So I'm really happy that I was finally able to pull a plus attack copy earlier this year, because before that I had just a +0 copy, which was minus attack, so I never really invested into him. But as soon as I got the plus attack copy, I was like, okay, it's finally time to make this unit good, especially with his refine. So I ended up giving him Heavy Blade 4 and Lull Attack Defense, and Gale Force, and along with Quicken Pulse, is actually a really strong unit. Now, I haven't used him in AR yet, I've used him more in PvE, but he's just super strong, and, you know, maybe one day I'll figure out how to use him in AR too. Next up is duo Idunn and Faye, and this is a unit who I pulled for because I really like both Idunn and Faye. I do have a +10 regular Faye, so that's why I like Faye. I think she's adorable, and Idunn is just so pretty. She's stunning. I love her heterochromia, I love her hair, she's just so pretty. So yeah, that's kind of why I pulled for this unit, and I'm just so glad I did, because now, like nowadays, they're actually a really strong unit, and I use them in, not Anima, I use them in Astra Season, and like, they're so good. They're actually really, really strong with this build, because of their negates follow-up, essentially, they are a pretty good duo leaf counter, and other units too who have guaranteed follow-ups. It's just really nice, or even people who don't have guaranteed follow-ups. Like for example, I used this unit to bait out a Fire Sweep Bolin once, a +10 Fire Sweep Bolin in Astra Season, because I didn't have anyone with Null Sea Disrupt who could do it. And yeah, she barely did any damage because she could only hit them once. So I'm super happy I invested into this unit. They are +1 now and plus attack, and I do have one more combat manual of them sitting around, probably to fodder after Sturdy Stance. But yeah, so I definitely don't regret investing in this unit, and I do use them on a weekly basis. So yeah. Next up is Aversa, who is probably one of my favorite units in this game. She's got the Vanguard's band. I think that was auto-equipped by a Forging Bonds ages ago, but I just think it fits her color scheme so well that I just kept it on because I love how it looks on her. And this is kind of the build that I run with her whenever I try to use her on Abyssal Clears. I haven't used her as much in PvE lately because I've just been using a team of Legendary Claude and Brave Claude plus 2 dancers, but before I got Legendary Claude, she was definitely used a lot more, but I still use her in Ether Raids in Light Season sometimes. She's also got Life and Death 4 to soak chill, you know, the chill attack, chill speed, and the Bright Shrine, but I don't know. I think this is a really cool build for her, so yeah. She's also someone who I use in Arena right now because I have Red Dual Flying on her, but like the fact that she's the only easily available, easily mergeable mage flyer, and she's actually got a really good offensive stat line, is kind of nuts to me. So, you know, I can't wait until she gets her refine, and I will definitely be refining it no matter what it is, but, you know, she's just a unit who I really like using. I love her design too. Next up is my OG Lucas, who has a lot of skills on him. He's got Distant Counter, he's got Steady Breath, he's got Fortress Defense Res 3, he's got Null Follow-Up, he's got Null Sea Disrupt, and he's someone who I used to use a lot in Ether Raids. Now unfortunately, because of his low res and his low speed, 2 stats which are quite important in Ether Raids, he's just kind of fallen off. So I don't really use him in Ether Raids anymore, but, you know, I still sometimes use him in PvE. I tried to use him on a defense team and it worked for a bit. But, you know, it's unfortunate that he kind of got the short end of the stick when it comes to refines. He just got a really bad refine, so there's much better to just run Flowing Lance. But yeah, Lucas is someone who I do really like as a character, and I think he was my first ever +10 unit years ago. So that's definitely something that I like about him. I also have a Picnic Lucas, who is +3 now. An extra merge came from the Ephemera one that we got, which is super nice. So I did give him Berkut's Lance, Distant Counter, and Vengeful Fighter. He's again someone who I use sometimes in PvE. He's got a monstrous defense stat. You know, he's pretty good. Yeah. He probably will never get a seasonal refine because he didn't have a PRF to begin with, but that's okay. I still like him. He's a good boy. Next is Brave Hector, who is a good unit who I try not to use very often because of how good he is. So I did give him Special Fighter and Far Save. Like I said, I prefer not to use him generally because he just trivializes a lot of AR content, but sometimes, you know, I do use him. I do unequip Far Save, funny enough, when I use him on AR offense. But yeah, I mean, he's a great unit. There's not much more to say about it. Yeah. Next up is Winter Hilda, who I got 2 copies of while I was pulling for Odd Recovery. sparking for odd recovery back on the Christmas banner. So I did upgrade both of them. I did give her some fodder. I think I had a spare Nagi who gave her distant counter and special fighter. She's pretty good. I mean, I don't really use her, to be very honest. I don't think I've used her at all since I built her, but I do think she's adorable. I'm not necessarily the biggest fan of her as a character. I like her, but she's obviously got some pretty massive flaws, but I just think her art is just adorable. Like, look at that. They really hit it out of the park with this winter art on her. But yeah, who knows, maybe I'll use her more someday. Probably not, though. Okay, Dancer Eldigan. Someone who I built up for the purpose of using on Dark Defense and I'm not even using right now because I have odd recovery, but, you know, he's still a really good unit if I ever decide to build a different kind of team comp. I did go all the way and give him Fortress Defense Res 3 and made him plus defense, and yeah, he's just so good. So if I ever switch from a Cav line where I don't have odd recovery anymore, he will probably go on that team because, you know, it'll be really hard for Miles to isolate him. And his art is just stunning. Alright, he's got the Melody hair clip because Dancing Alt, and I think it looks cute on him. Next up is Sugary, who I hope gets a really good defense because he has not been I hope he gets a really good refine because unfortunately I really have not found much use for him recently. He does have Swift Sparrow 3 and Distant Counter. I did used to use him in Arena at one point, which is why he's got Rally Attack Defense Plus, but like there are just so many better Lance Flyers nowadays, like for example, not Sugary. He is Sugary. For example, Sedith, that, you know, not much reason to justify investing into him. But I did invest in him a while back because I think I pulled 2 5-star copies of him back when he was still in the 5-star pool. So I was like, well, might as well invest in him. But yeah, let's hope he gets a good refine because I would love to use him again someday. Next up is Reinhardt, who, aside from Claude, is absolutely my favorite unit in this game. So, as you guys have seen on my defense team, this is his build right now. He's got attack speed push 4, far trace. He's also got lull, attack res in his B skill if I need it. And in his A skill, he's also got death blow 4 and ARD attack res. I am 99% sure I'm also going to give him ARD attack speed when I get it from the new divine codes, because that is the first path that I'll be going down. And joint drive speed as well, but this is what I'm using him with right now. Ideally, he'd have Fatal Smoke. Still not sure whether to fodder off my Legendary Sigurd to give him Fatal Smoke, because Fatal Smoke actually can help turn the matchup against Fallen Leons and Edelgards in his favor, because if either of those is running Noontime and they heal back, even if he quads them, he might not actually be able to kill them. So Fatal Smoke is definitely something that I would love to get. But yeah, for now, he's still doing amazing, and I'm so proud of him, and I just cannot wait until Dire Thunder gets a refine. And the fact that DC weapons just got a refine right now is telling me that they are willing to refine Dire Thunder someday too. That's just my thought, but anyway, we'll see. So yeah, this unit, probably, yeah, my favorite unit to use aside from Claude, definitely. I really like him. And he's got the sunglasses because he's just too cool. Alright, Hawkeye. He's got the Edelgard crown on his head because it looks cool on him. I built him probably about a year and a half ago when I was still looking for some people to run as AR offense tanks. I don't really use him much anymore, but, you know, he's pretty good. He's got Ruptured Sky and DC from a male Byleth, and that was pretty much the only fodder I gave him. His weapon is actually really good. But unfortunately with his stat line, he's kind of in a similar position as Lucas, where, I mean, he's in a better position than Lucas because his res is higher at least, but his speed is still too slow to be super good in AR, even with speed stacking, like, but you know, he's just a good unit to have, especially for limited hero battles. He's just super helpful. Very good all-around tank. Next up is my ninja Hana, who I built up for arena purposes, and I've actually been pretty happy with the way she's been performing. Normally I wouldn't use Huge Fan in arena. I would use the Slaying Hammer because that's kind of the only way that she can deal with Edelgards, both legendary and brave. But you know, she's a pretty good unit. She deals pretty well with Dimitri and Crom, so I'm definitely happy about that. And yeah, I don't really use her outside of arena, but as a 180 BST unit, she is super useful to have in arena, and she's also just really good all around. Next up is my legendary Edelgard, who's +4. I did build her up for arena. I don't think I've had a chance to use her in arena yet, but is it fire season right now? I don't even know. But yeah, I will definitely try using her out in arena because I did build her for that. Obviously, ideally, I would pair her up with an armor to give her armor march because she does need a tier 4 C skill to score maximum with her Raging Storm. But anyway, so this is her build. She's really strong, obviously. I cannot believe she has 67 visible attack at just +4 with no Dragon Flowers. Insane. So yeah, she's amazing. This is my Reyson, who is +10, and I haven't used him in a while, but I did used to use him a lot in Ether Raids, because his 3 movement and healing was really helpful at one point. Now that I have Mythic Dancers on both offense seasons, there's not much use to use Reyson. But, you know, I used to use him with Sudden Panic. He was pretty good. And yeah, not much more to say about him. Pretty decent unit with a bit of a low attack stat. Next up is Faye, who was also one of my first +10 units in the first year of the game. I think her, Lucas, and Roy were my first +10 units, I think. Oh, and Reinhardt, obviously, he was up there as well. So, before she got Eternal Breath, I used to run her with Lightning Breath, and as her A skill, I had, like, Mirror Stance 3, which is decent, but I've switched to Eternal Breath since then because the Breath effect, allowing her to get Noontime on the Retaliation, is super useful. So now she runs DC as well. She's also got Null Seed Disrupt and Null Follow-Up in the B slot. I've been using her with Null Seed Disrupt because unfortunately her speed is not high enough nowadays to make good use of Null Follow-Up, and she's also got a super bad matchup with Duo Leaf regardless of Null Follow-Up, so I just thought it'd be cool to have someone in Aster Season with Null Seed Disrupt to take on Cavlines who have like a Flash Healer or something. She's also got Pulse Smoke and Darting Stance, and ideally I would be running Quick Riposte on her on her Seal, but Duo and Idunn is running that, and they are both used in the same season, so I can't really use it on her. She's pretty good. You know, her Refine is decent, but unfortunately, like, it could have been better. Unfortunately, visible buffs are not always the greatest thing to have in AR. And she's got the Explorer hat because I think it looks cute on her, and it matches with her color scheme. Alright, now for Python. Python's another unit who I built up for AR specifically. I built him... Actually, no. I actually built him because I liked Lucas and I knew he was friends with Lucas, so that's why I decided to +10 him. But I'm definitely glad I did because he did have a bit of a run on one of my cav lines. He's a pretty good unit to use. I've since replaced him with Green Olwen because she just hits harder, but he's still a pretty good unit, and I did give him Lull Speed Defense and Panic Smoke and Devilish Bow. So, you know, he's still a pretty premium unit and good to use in limited hero battles as well. And if I ever decide to put him back on my cav line, he could do pretty well, I feel like. Unfortunately, I don't have Fire Sweep Bow fodder for him, or Spendthrift, or Budding Bow, so that does hold him back a little bit. And he's got the Devil Horns to match with his Devilish Bow. Alright, next up is Lewin, who could be +4 right now if I hadn't foddered one off ages ago for Special Spiral. He's a unit who pity broke me, I think, 3 times in the first year of the game, so that's why I kind of got annoyed of him and I foddered one off for Special Spiral, but he's actually a really good unit, and especially since his Refine, he's just gotten, like, so good, especially for countering things like Brave Hector. So yeah, he's got his Forseti Refine, he's got Moonbow, Swift Sparrow 3 in his A skill, Null Follow-Up in his B skill, and Attack Speed Oath, and then Flashing Blade to help trigger that Moonbow. So he's super strong, and I was using him on my Infantry Pulse ARD team at one point. Not really using him anymore right now because I've switched away from that, but he's a unit who I'm sure will remain useful, you know, throughout the time, so I'm definitely glad I invested in him. And I never played FE4 myself, but I have read the FE4 manga, and I do really like his personality. I think he's cool. So yeah, that's Lewin. Next is Olwen, who I use on my cav line. You guys have already seen this build, so I won't spend too much time going over it, but basically, with Attack Speed Push 4 and Lull Speed Res and Hardy Bearing, the point is for her to be a Brave Ike counter, at least like a slow Brave Ike counter, because with Hardy Bearing she'll definitely be able to kill, as long as she outspeeds him. So yeah, she's really good. She's actually so amazing. Like, her Refine made her really good, and she's also someone who pity broke me, I think, twice, and I got a 4-star special copy of her, so that's why she's +2 right now. And she's got the hat to match her brother. Next up is Dancer Reinhardt, who is another unit who I really like because I like Reinhardt. He's +3 right now and plus attack, and he's got Mirror Impact in his A skill. I've also given him Deathblow 4 in the past, so he has that as well, but I think Mirror Impact's a bit better. And Wings of Mercy and Attack Res Oath and Deathblow. And I am super hopeful that they may add him to the next Hall of Forms, and if they do, I'm 100% taking his Forma. I will probably go for Sturdy Impact as his A skill, and like Attack Res Rain as his C skill, because that's not really fodder that I have on hand, so And it's an extra merge, which is always nice. So yeah, those are my plans for him. He's pretty good. And he's got the lovely hat because it looks cute on him. Alright, baby Innis. He is someone who is my next Grail merge project. I'm definitely plus 10ing him as soon as he's added to the Grail shop. Or probably plus 9 because we'll probably get another one from the Ephemera manuals. But anyway, so this is his build. He's also got Ruptured Sky as his special for arena scoring. He's also got Harsh Command Plus for arena scoring. And in his A skill, he's also got Steady Stance 4 and Fury 4. Those are both things that I passed off while inheriting other skills. They're not necessarily good, but I might find some niche uses for them later on. And then he's got Null Follow-Up and Times Pulse. And he is super strong with this build, and this week I'm actually specifically using him for hit and run on AR offense, because he actually gets off 2 Moonbows in 1 round of combat, which is super strong. So yeah, definitely excited to plus 10 him. Next up is OG Claude. He is someone who I've just recently plus 10'd a couple months ago, and I was super happy to do it. So he's got Fire Sweep Bow, he's also got Spendthrift Bow. He also has Deadeye as a special, but it's not super good on him because he doesn't have any way to get Slaying on his PRF weapon. And his build is Attack Speed Push 4, Lull Speed Defense, and Panic Smoke. I do use him on my Cav line because I really like him as a unit. And yeah, there are probably better options. Someone like Rolf would probably be better, but I really like him, so I'm using him. And obviously, like, the reason why I plus 10 him is pretty self-explanatory. I'm a big Claude fan, so pretty much any alt of Claude, I will do my best to eventually plus 10 him. So yeah, speaking of Claude, we have 3 in a row right here. But yeah, just look how cool OG Claude looks with his Spy Mask and with the Fire Sweep Bow. I think he looks great. So next is Brave Claude. I won't spend too long talking about him because you guys see him every day in Ether Raids, but basically, if you guys weren't watching my videos before I started making Ether Raids content, I was blessed enough to get this guy to plus 10 with 492 orbs on a debut banner for Choose Your Legends. And the percentile on that is 0.2%. So I think it was fate that I got this plus 10 Brave Claude. I was hoping maybe to get like a plus 3 or plus 4 Claude, let alone a plus 10, so, you know, the gods wanted me to have this plus 10 Brave Claude, so I treat him well, I use him as much as I can, and I really appreciate him for everything that he's helped me with in Ether Raids and with this game. He's also got Close Counter in his A slot, he's also got Sturdy Impact and Attack Speed Push 4. I don't really use Sturdy Impact or Attack Speed Push 4 because I use him mainly as a tank, but maybe if I ever decided to put him on an ARD team, that could work. He's also got Guard and Pulse Smoke. And this is basically the build that I use on him in Light Season, and in Astra Season I run Close Counter to help against Duma and Saros. But yeah, favorite unit of the game hands down, so thank you so much, Claude, for everything that you've done for me throughout the years. It hasn't even been years, throughout the months. Okay, we're getting to the end now. So this is my Legendary Claude, who I'm supposed to be saving up for to get more copies of him on the May banner. Unfortunately, I've been getting baited, but I'm doing my best now to keep saving up so that I can get more copies. He is a long-term plus 10 goal. I don't know how long it'll take me because Legendary and Mythic banners can be really, really bad when it comes to getting specific units that you want. So let's hope that I get the same luck with him that I did with Brave Claude. And I also got pretty lucky with OG Claude too, so, you know, maybe I'll get lucky with this one too. So he's got Deadeye, he's got Rally Attack Defense Plus for Arena, although you don't see it here. I've also given him Attack Speed Solo 4 and Pulse Smoke from a spare Freya I had. I pulled like 3 Freyas, so that's why it was easy fodder to give to him. He's also got Close Foil in his A slot. He's actually pretty decent with Noontime and Close Foil and Mystic Boost Seal. I was testing him out in PvE with that, so he's pretty good with that too. But honestly, his true strengths lie as a offensive powerhouse, which he is. So yeah, this is Legendary Claude, and the only thing I really want for him now is more merges. Alright, and he's got the Kitsune Ears accessory because it's cute. Okay, down to the last 2. This is Winter Cecilia, who I plus 10'd a while back. I did get the Forma for her so that I could get Broadleaf Fan and Pulse Smoke on her, and Close Counter, so I did use her as a Vantage Sweeper at one point in AR. Unfortunately now there are too many threats that she just can't really deal with, so I haven't used her in a while, but, you know, she's still there in case I ever need her, and she's pretty good in limited hero battles. And the last one now is Veronica, who is now plus 3. I happened to pull a 4-star special of her the other week, and I also pulled a copy of her on the Choose Your Legends Golden Week reruns this week, which was super nice. And she's a unit who I've given a ton of stuff to. So she's got attack speed solo 3 and odd recovery, and that has basically locked her into being my go-to cav healer. Especially when I use her on my cav line, because odd recovery is just so helpful. And honestly, her offensive stats are amazing too, so she actually does get a fair amount of kills too. So she's a unit who I really like. I'm not going to ever target plus 10ing her, but maybe someday that'll happen. But, here and there, I'm sure I'll just keep picking up a couple random merges. So definitely a unit who I really, really like. Yeah. So her accessory is the Lance Rucker Remnant, because she is Sans Veronica. No more explanation needed than that. Sans from Undertale, by the way. Alright, so that is my Barracks showcase. I hope you all enjoyed. This is basically just a summary of all of my plus 10 units, plus units who are not plus 10, but who I've given a lot of good fodder to. And like I said, I don't find ways to use all of these on a daily or even weekly basis, which is a bit unfortunate, but I still love and appreciate all of them, and most of them I don't really regret building them. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching this video. Thank you so much for 3K subscribers once again, and yeah, that's all for today's video. Bye!